Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of Cookiecast. Today on Cookiecast, it's NFL podcast time. Here we go, it's Week 10. Week 10, that's right. Week 10 review, Week 11 preview. We're sort of sliding to the back end of the season now, unfortunately. We're joined today by my glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, the stats mistress, Lianne Davies, and first-time podcaster, first-time NFL podcast person, Mr. Rob Rafton. So we also introduce what is hopefully going to be a new segment, and it's the first podcast done in the new podcast space. Wow, what a action-packed week we've got for you. So here we go. It's NFL Podcast, Week 10 Review, Week 11 Preview. Now.
Flashy.
Flashing.
Flashy.
You passed my cushion.
Flashing. Are you not going to introduce your cushion?
I didn't think it warranted an introduction.
I thought that's how you were going to say it.
Is it a new cushion?
It is a new cushion. Fresh out of the bag, especially for this room.
Especially for this week.
Yay.
At least it didn't have Live on Bell on it.
No.
So it's podcast time. Let's do this. NFL Yorkshire's number one NFL podcast is about to set sail.
Set sail! Excellent.
I'm trying.
Nautical themed.
I'm trying new things out. I think I have actually managed to get it so I am not on a single camera. So that's really working. I like that.
I'm almost certain you'll be picked up by every
I am
single
not on
one.
that one. That one, as far as that one's concerned, I'm dead to it.
You're forgetting about the peripheral vision of it, though.
That one, definitely not.
I was just getting my boots, I think. Yeah.
I was just like,
Just my boots.
I'll do this maybe. This might help. I don't know. It's not like I spent like 40 minutes on it now. So
We have a first.
we have a first.
We have a first.
We do have a first. We have
That's probably
first.
because I'm here.
So, following in a pattern of NFL podcasts, people have decided to bust their podcast cherry by not only doing a podcast but doing the NFL podcast simultaneously. However, we're not going to draw attention to that just yet, because unlike other weeks, we're going straight over to the stats mistress, Miss Lianne Davies.
Yes.
Who's going to introduce our new segment? Lianne Davies, take it away. You. I'll give him a little bit.
So, based on your choice use of words, erstwhile being the most,
Oh my god. Right, okay.
we now have word of the podcast.
Oh my god, amazing. Yes.
So,
I must have come up with an absolute corkers over 9 weeks.
No, that's not it. So
Oh.
here we go.
I'm sure you have, but
Oh,
so I will tell you the word of the podcast, and then it is your duty to get it in to a sentence.
So you're not going to say it out loud?
I am.
Oh,
Yes.
right, okay.
Yes, because it's very unique.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a case of only me and you were going to know what it was.
I think that's two.
Is that too challenging?
It could be a
Yeah.
bit too cryptic.
Unless it was
Because that could be your
Tiebreak.
no, that could be your quiz question for the listeners or whatever. They have to
What
work
was this
out
word?
what was
this
this word.
it would have to be an NFL football related word. Like
We had
Scrimmage.
yeah.
another
Or
segment,
gridiron.
but unfortunately you went and ruined it. So
Hey,
Nice. What's he ruined?
I've apparently ruined something without even knowing I've ruined it.
you're. We're not doing that segment anymore, are we?
What is
Because
it?
Paul ruined it.
I honestly don't know what I've done here.
Life.
Oh,
So I was well happy for this because mine's amazing.
we can talk about
So,
it.
NFL players that are born on the same day as you.
Right, okay.
Nobody is born on the same day as
That's
Paul
got to
Williams.
be
That's not
bullshit.
strictly true. There
must
is
be
a whole
some.
raft of
Oh, there's a
players,
list.
but I did not recognise
That
any.
no one has heard of.
And she's in charge of this sort of stuff.
So it had to be somebody I could resonate with.
I really wanted to play this segment.
Please tell me you're the same as Tom Brady. That'll be absolutely.
Did you say that when I
said
put
that
it
and
to
she
you?
said no.
I said no. Technically, it's worse.
Oh my god, I could be the
It's
same age as Brady, actually.
worse.
Is it
It's
OJ
40 something.
The juice! Hey! Me and the juice share a birthday card. And I do love a good stick up, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, that segment was ruined.
It would have
by
been a
your
very
poor
short-lived
birthday.
segment.
Well, welcome to the last of the of Yorkshire's #1 NFL podcast.
And it wasn't intended to be a segment. I was talking about a Christmas quiz.
There's a lot of quiz talk going around. We've spoken about the Christmas podcast and the troubles that we may have with the Christmas Eve game. I mean, great for watching American football on Christmas Eve.
But it's technically still just Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a massive change in the schedule. The problem is that obviously everything shuts down for 2 days, pretty much.
As does podcasting,
Yeah.
as I was saying to you. So that's not
really
a huge
the
issue.
problem.
Give us today's word.
Today's word is catastrophize. To view,
Can you use
So
it as a
what?
sentence?
Catastrophize?
yes, catastrophize. To view or talk about an event or situation as worse than it actually is, as if it were a catastrophe. So stop catastrophizing and get on with your life.
Yeah.
Or she tends to catastrophize her symptoms.
So I've got to try and work in the word catastrophize over the course of the next...
Whilst talking about the Panthers Steelers game, for example.
The dumpster fire that was my team up until 3 weeks ago.
We can talk about the pitch in Mexico.
Oh my god, yeah.
That is a catastrophe.
I think we'll be coming to that later on. Yeah.
I said to you today, I was like, I saw they were supposed to play Mexico City and couldn't work it out, but
Yeah.
NFL
Jesus
haven't
Christ,
signed it
it
off.
looks as right. Like, you know what? So I said this.
York City's got better grass.
You know when I think I might have said it to people about when they had the Seahawks. No, was it the Seahawks Raiders game? No,
It was the second game.
no, it must have been when they had the Jags Eagles game, and then Man City played Spurs the day after, and the pitch looked awful.
yeah.
The Estadio Azteca pitch in Mexico makes that look like it was pristine.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
So that is the podcast word of the podcast.
Yep. It was. There was a. We just googled word of the day, and that is what.
Oh, I wanted to use the other one because I was like, I get that in the first sentence.
Yeah, we thought it was too easy. It was.
Was it scrimmage?
No. It was
Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery.
So we should have had Tom here for it because he is nothing but tomfoolery.
Well, that
quite
Brady
good.
chap, yeah.
Yeah.
Tomfoolery.
There used to be a word apparently way back when Mike Shanahan used to be the head coach of the Washington Redskins, and it was in relation to fantasy because you'd never know which of his starters he was going to play each week, so it was referred to as Shanahanigans.
Seen that before. So for the podcast roll call, I am obviously here. I'm never not here. There might come a day where I'm not here. That'll be interesting. My glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, stats mistress and only female member of the league, Miss Lianne Davies. And today joining us all the way from down the road.
All the way down the road.
Mr.
3.5 miles.
Mr. Robert Rafton.
Making his podcast
Debut. And NFL debut.
Welcome.
But not the first mention of Mr. Rafton on the podcast.
It is not the first mention.
I think Rob.
Has he had his prerequisite 3 mentions?
Oh Jesus! I think Rob's in debt, so he's basically going to do a podcast this week, and then a podcast next week because that was the other thing about it. It was like, you've got week 10 and week 11, so you're not on for 10 weeks, then you're on 2 weeks both. Right?
We should have done one live from Wembley, really.
There's the live from Wembley option.
Maybe next year.
I mentioned on
A live from Tottenham if they finally build the stadium.
I mentioned on a podcast that I was trying to get press pass. Like when we were sat on the tube leaving Wembley, I'm like looking up how to get press pass and stuff to try and get press passes for the next like 1 or 2 games. Certainly the Eagles Jags game. But as I said on the podcast, I probably don't need to be vetted by the FBI. So I was like, I'll just leave it. So week
10.
Oh.
Week 10 review. Week 11
Yes.
preview.
I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know. I don't know if I want to say week 10.
We're already over the halfway mark.
Double digits, though,
No,
isn't it?
we've-
Double
we've-
digits.
We've bust past. We've catastrophised the situation of the.
It's a little loose.
The NFL.
It's a little loose. I don't even know if you get the point.
Was it not to make it sound worse than it actually is?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you're doing. There's still 7 weeks to go, but you're making it sound like it's ending next week.
It practically is. It feels like it.
Done.
Christmas is here, playoffs.
Yeah.
Don't
We
start about
even had
Christmas.
that conversation today because we were saying.
Late night shopping starts tomorrow. York will be hell.
Right, let's crack on. You see how organised I am. Straight into the games. Obviously, I won this.
We'll need to take a moment to review the fantasy matchup predictions whilst you go through the results.
Segment from last week. New
We
segment.
are just throwing segments out left, right, and centre. Those guys. Starting with game 1. I mean, just with a quick check confirms. Myself, with my team, the Cookie, went up against Rivers Deep,
Rivers Run Deep.
Josh Gordon High. I put a respectable 94 points on the board, and I was happy with that. And the projections for the game were literally like that throughout that thing. At one point, they were like, "You're definitely going to win." It's like, sweet. Next minute, it's like, "I don't think you're winning this one, mate." I'm like, we'll see. So I put up a respectable 94 points. Obviously, I went up against the person who put the highest score in the league on the board, who also decided that not only having the highest score, I'm pretty sure this could be one of the highest scores in fantasy
I'd have
history.
to go back through it, but yeah, potentially.
Philip Walls, his team, Rivers Deep, Josh Gordon High, posted a 142 point.
And what a shame that he couldn't be here to
bask in
revel
his own
in that.
glory.
Yeah.
Just
I mean,
to rub it in.
No offence, mate, but you will be scrubbing that particular dump off your chest for several weeks.
Now, there is the David Johnson issue. But
Please continue.
even if I'd have played David Johnson with his 29 points sitting on the bench,
I mean,
2 touchdowns,
I know.
98 yards.
it still wouldn't have done anything.
I know that the Cardinals aren't anything pretty to look at, but you've got to start David Johnson.
Well,
At least you didn't start your Carolina defence. -9 points.
Whoa, yeah, that was bad.
I just left them on the bench. I made
Yeah.
a good choice. So that was a loss for me, a W for Mr. Philip Walls, 5-5 Philip Walls, 4-6 for the Cookie. Are we doing the other bit at the end?
I can do it.
Standing.
Line by
Oh,
line.
this bit.
Yeah. So that's a point to the two of you. Both said Phil would win.
Blind faith, you see.
Yeah.
So
Phil has got hurt, though. One of the players of the year, I would definitely say. Tight end of the year. By a long way.
so
Yeah,
far,
I'd
yeah,
probably
he's
go
looks
with
pretty good.
Absolute star.
Game 2 on my list is my glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams' team, Hide and Seek, and the newest cherry-busting Mr. Rob Rafton's team, the Yorkshire Knights. Well, Rob.
You're gonna have to talk us through your thought process, Rob.
Thought process of
Lack of.
I mean, playing.
lack of checking his team, thinking it'd been set on Thursday night. Then
Yeah, I mean the playing of the Minnesota defense on their bye, and the playing of Rob Gronkowski
when he was out.
when he's not been playing for about 4 weeks.
It's a blessing
Yeah.
playing the
Absolute
Vikings.
shocker.
Oh no, he played 2 weeks ago.
Obviously, you've got the option to put Drew Brees in, which would have scored you more points versus Cam Newton, 28 versus 14.
Jesse James did his usual for me as well.
One reception for 8 yards and a
round.
touchdown. Wow,
Yeah.
excellent.
Big Ben just threw through blocks all day. Still don't know why they don't use him more though, yeah. Because normally he'll have like 3 touches, 1 touchdown.
Paul Williams could have put Russell Wilson in to get him a few more points, but on the flip side, he did play Ezekiel Elliott, who thought 30 points was an acceptable number to put up. Rob Rafton posted a 68. Paul Williams is higher than Zeke, posted a 90, giving Mr. Williams the third
and I'm just saying,
win of the season.
the playoffs is not out of the question. I am still
Not
there.
out of the play-
It's
not
not
out of the-
mathematically
not out of
impossible
reach.
for me to make the playoffs.
Obviously, at this point in time, probably need to look at the fact that not 1, not 2, but 3 back-to-back victories.
All I can say is,
On a roll.
league leaders, I'm coming for you, bitches.
Coming at you.
Coming at ya!
Third game of the week.
Whoa, hold on. There was one man that backed his own team, Paul, so you got a point for that.
There you go. We
Blind faith.
we backed you. So we lost.
They always they put their faith in you, Rob, and you let them down.
We hoped that you were going to
We
be...
were like, who's winning this? Well, it's
Yeah.
Rob, isn't it?
Rob, who's
Rob loves setting a full lineup. Loves putting all the right players in. Rob Rafton.
first time I've
Oh,
ever done
yeah.
it. Yeah. My excuse, I was busy-ish. Yeah.
That's what all the kids say these days.
Someone was 2 on Thursday, so yeah.
Oh God, it's so true.
Game 3. Benji Keeps Oxford Heathens facing off against the Sin Bin members. My agile teammate Timothy Lacey's Squirrel Killers versus Benjamin Keeps Oxford Heathens. Benjamin Keep put up a respectable 72. Couldn't compete with the Sin Bin members. 100 points, 100 dead points.
Which is even more impressive when you consider he was playing the New York Jets defense that scored him -7. It's a big day from Mitchell Trubisky. The Truth Biscuit.
Truth Biscuit.
At least he's dropped Brady now, finally. That's one good thing. He may have won, but Brady's on his bench. Well,
Oxford
he
Heathens
belongs.
are going 2-8. Squirrel Killers 3-7.
And that's a win for all of us.
Oh, lovely.
I say a win, a point.
100% so far, lads. Yeah, boy.
Yeah.
The next game in the lineup, a lovely close one. I do like a close one. My pick for this season's league champion.
Just a lot of 100 scores this week.
Big scores this week.
Yeah.
Thomas Quinn's team. I don't need a gun. I've got a donk. Facing off against James Forrester Gray. Jimmy is in the bell.
Team name change.
Team
once
name
again.
change. I cannot stress this enough, people. Stop changing your fucking team names mid of the week. Sort your shit out. And for that, you post 104, but my boy, T-Dog, Thomas Quinn, T-Bag, said no,
T-Bag.
nap in here. 108 points. Thomas Quinn takes the win.
He was complaining.
8-2.
He was complaining. He was like, "Oh God, and I've got Brady sat on my bench with 25." Like, you bloody won.
8-2 taking that versus a 6-4.
And a point for all three of us again.
Well, you don't not back Thomas, let's face it.
He's got Todd Gurley.
I think that was the grounds.
That
Well,
was how he did.
Yeah.
Todd Gurley not even his highest scorer this week.
And Jones.
Aaron Jones outscored him.
He's got Ridley as well, hasn't
Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley's gone off the boil a bit though.
he? Little. Newest member of the Sin Bin, Colin Wright, Obi-Wan Mahomes, goes up against our stats mistress, Miss Lianne Davies. Come on, sack one! Unfortunately for this household, come on, sack one only managed to 79 versus Obi-Wan Mahomes 125. As I've said before, doesn't even phone into the podcast anymore, but certainly also doesn't phone his team in.
Point there for Paul and I.
So
I back you?
So
Stupid idea, wasn't it?
you backed her because
She backed me.
Yeah.
Oh.
And we were back
I didn't even back myself.
5 from 5. All I can say is I know exactly what happened in the last one, and this is another reason why he can go and, pardon my language, fuck himself.
Everybody, the last game of the week features everybody's favourite team. Definitely not an absolute.
Oh, he's going to win it. He's going to win the league.
Not
He
to
isn't.
the playoffs.
He is, though.
He isn't.
He
isn't, because the moment I know that I'm out of the running, I'm dumping all of my good players onto Tom's team. I'm not even dropping them to waiver. I'm just dropping them to Tom's team.
Oh, collusion cast.
I am gonna smash that team into perfection.
Smash.
Matthew, 2 teams, Hurley's, Kaepernick's Knight goes up against Matthew Moore's Feeling Good. I mean, I wonder who won this one. Oh, it's a mystery.
Let me down.
Feeling Good posted a 76. Kaepernick's Nike, a reasonably low for Kaepernick's Nike, 107. Just to point out, Feeling Good, a reasonable 5 and 5. Kaepernick's Nike, 9 and 1.
He is the Rams or Chiefs of our league.
Sure,
Just leaving that to sink in. 9 and 1.
Eventually, we're going to have to.
I'm so glad he works in a different building, so I don't need to see that smug grin going.
That's the worst thing, but eventually I'm going to have to just give him his dues.
I bump into him sometimes in Wally Row, and he does what he does on the freaking group chat. It's all, I've got running back issues this week, and it's like, I'm sure you're really struggling. I can't even post a team this week. I've got wide receiver issues this week. Yeah. Why is that wide receiver you've got in not going to score 30 points, Matthew?
It's only going to get 25.
He's Big Ben, only going to get 35 and 5 touchdowns this week for you.
So that was a point in the bank for you and I. Sadly, though,
No!
that only puts you and I on 4 points and Paul with the 5.
Winner, chicken dinner.
Didn't we say that this, each week that you get a win in this, it translates to a win that you can use in the league to bump your stats?
Yes, if you can work
if I were
out a way.
commissioner, I could work out how to do that.
Or a win off someone.
Yeah.
If our commissioner can work out how to do that, go for broke.
Yeah.
You're going to spend 98% of the next week Googling how to change things in the fantasy league.
Fucking about with the scores and stuff. Oh,
How to destroy the Hurley. Yeah.
And that takes us over to the standings. 9 and 1, Matthew, 2 teams, Hurley, lavishing at the top. He's the only person in first place.
To give him his due, he scored the most points in the league.
Sorry, Phil, I didn't see you there. What?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I love Matthew. What?
Shocking.
Joint second. The newest member of the Sin Bin, Colin Wright's team, Obi-Wan Mahomes. Joint second with I've got a donk, Thomas Quinn, my boy, for first place. A stupid football name is at 4. James Forrester Gray is in the bell. I'm now using the abbreviated ones on the scores. It goes to abbreviate.
Yeah.
2 players at number 5. Mr. Philip Walls, who couldn't be here today. Josh Gordon High shares the 5th spot with Matthew Moore's Feeling Good. The 2 people at number 7 is this guy and that guy. Lianne Davies, the Stats Mistress, Come On Saquon, and the Cookie is at joint 7. Falling down into the 3 people at number 9. Mr. Rob Rafton's Yorkshire Knights. My glamorous co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, is Hide and Seek.
Joint 9th.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
The Sin Bin leader, Tim Lacey's Squirrel Killers. And that only leaves one position left, which is the 12th position in the league. Benji keeps Oxford Heathens.
I've just looked ahead
2 and 8
to next week's matchups.
You're not going to win.
It's not that.
Oh.
So if James gets one more win I can't make
You're
it
not
in the
going to
playoffs.
make it to the playoffs.
He's playing Ben.
Wow.
Maybe this is Ben's week.
He's projected 64.
I bet he got.
He not plays a full team.
Oh, I was going to say his lineup.
Speaking of next week, let's do this. First game on my list. Are you ready?
I only have to turn to the
Go faster,
cup.
go faster, go faster, go faster, go faster.
Tasty.
Who is it?
This guy right here, the cookie, as is always
this guy
versus
right
this
here.
guy right here, Mr. Rob Rafton. Second week on
Please
the
not.
podcast.
I have a full team. I have done it today.
Both?
To make sure. But when you look at my bench, bye.
Both teams have set full lineups.
Drew
at this,
Brees.
at
Holy
this,
balls, he really has got nothing on his bench.
There is no
at
bench.
this point in the week, they have both set full lineups. Early projections would say it's a win for this guy. So we all know what that means. Those projections are completely inaccurate.
In Cam, I trust.
Put me down for Rob on that one, please.
Let's have a look.
Paul Williams.
Who are the Panthers playing?
Detroit. At Detroit.
That'll be an alright game.
Fitzpatrick's playing the Giants though.
Oh, good God.
Yeah.
There's a game to stay clear of.
Come on, pick one.
Oh, he's too close to call.
I'm going to go with you, Mr. Cook, unfortunately.
Rob Rafton has picked me.
I think I will need Kareem Hunt to have a stormer to get close.
Yeah, they're playing the Rams. That's a tough game. Yeah, go on, I'll go for Andy.
Oh, Lianne Davies.
Yeah, I think I'll go with you.
Okay.
Don't let me down.
Second game of the week.
Tell me down.
Week 11. Can you believe it? Week 11. Can you believe it?
Yes, I can.
My glorious assistant, Mr. My glorious co-host, Mr. Paul Williams, is hide and seek. Goes up against Sinbin member Tim Lacey's Squirrel Killers. Early reports say 2-4 lineup set, and it will be a fourth win for Mr. Williams.
It's a very close
It's a very close one. I will back those projections. Mr. Williams for the win for me.
Well,
Paul Williams,
I'm winning every week until the end of the season.
obviously. So,
Until the playoffs.
in fact, you can just fill mine in for the rest of the week.
Got to back myself.
So you're going with
Got
Got to
it
back
back
myself.
yourself. Got it back yourself.
Got to back myself. Going up against Truth Bit. Oh no. Oh God.
Chicago against Minnesota.
No, it's not that. It's about I'm playing against Trubisky, but I've got him in my other league.
Odell Beckham Jr., Mike Evans. Oof. I'd not want to do that, but that's me.
I'm going to roll with Paul.
Back against you, mate. I
It's
think
fine.
Tim
It's
Farley
absolutely fine.
is on a bit of a roll, so I think Squirrel Killers.
Lianne Davies.
I've gone with Paul.
Really?
That's right.
Yeah.
Game 3. Jimmy is in the bell. James Forrester Gray versus the Oxford Heathens. As we've already mentioned, projected scores don't look good for Benji on this one. Projected 91 versus a 64. Both lineups fully set at this point in the week. Those projections you really can't argue with. I'm going to have to go with James Forrester Gray on that one, I'm afraid. Paul Williams.
I'm going to stay till last.
James Forrester Gray.
I'm going to have to go with James, having been beaten by him.
I'm going to go with my heart. No, head.
Head.
Hang on. I can't remember how it works. Either way, I'm going to say that Ben is going to pull it out of the bag and keep the playoff dream
See what you
alive.
get there.
Next game for week 11, the Stats Mistress, Miss Lianne Davies with her team Come On Sack 1 versus my previous opponent, Rivers Deep, Josh Gordon High.
Dear.
Not full lineup set.
I haven't
Stats
even looked at my
Mistress.
team this week.
However, Philip Walls
catch it?
is projected 100 without a full lineup. Miss Davies is projected a 72. Unfortunately, I am going to have to go with my head and not my heart. I'm going to back Phil on that one, I'm afraid, because Twinsies.
Yeah. Phil all the way.
Yeah, me too.
Wow.
Clean sweep for Phil, boys!
You can do it.
Yeah.
Next game. Matthew Moore's feeling good versus my boy. Thomas Quinn's I don't need a gun, I've got a donk. Early projections say that Matt Moore should probably set a lineup. Thomas Quinn
No quarterback.
doesn't need to do anything because he's beautiful. Thomas Quinn all the way on that one, I'm afraid.
Do you like him even more now that he's tatted?
He's 38% cooler.
I thought he was going to say he's 38.
Close to it.
No, nobody's 38.
He's almost 38. Yeah, like 4 years. 2 years time.
Youngsters.
Who's going to win?
Tom has Todd Gurley,
Oh no.
therefore Tom will win.
The boy Quinn. All the way.
Clean sweep for Thomas. Like it.
Quintessential.
I mean, this
I've just seen this. This looks tasty.
game of the week.
In the NFL fantasy realm,
Who's this? Two trees.
Kaepernick's Knight versus Cole.
Matthew, 2 teams early. He's Kaepernick's Ike versus the newest member of the Sin Bin, Colin Wright, over one of my homies. Do we think that day before the game start, Matthew hasn't set a full lineup? Do we think that might be a thing? Do you think he's never done that before?
So he's currently not playing a wide receiver. I'm assuming that is because he either doesn't like Demaryius Thomas
Setting a lineup before.
or Sterling Shepard.
Or he just hasn't got round to looking at it yet.
Or he doesn't set a lineup until day of play.
Well, imagine he had Jarvis Landry in and he's on bye.
But he's moved him out, that's why it's empty.
Mm.
It is the boy Toots playing games.
Of course it is.
It is.
It's
I'm
the approach
going
I'm
for
taking
Cole.
with Phil. I'm gonna.
Cole is
You're going for
fit.
Cole.
Going for Cole. I think McCaffrey's having a cracking season.
I don't like it, but I'm going to have to go along with it. It's a Toots win for me, only because Cole's got Pat Mahomes, and I think he's going to have a tough game against the Rams.
I would definitely agree with that. It's Toots for me, because it's Toots, isn't it? How about you?
Long thought about this.
Long thought.
Deep in
I think
thought.
it's going to be Cole. I think he's going to
No, definitely not.
Kansas have a good game, and with Lianne.
2 G's off his pedestal.
Kansas
Ooh,
to beat-
divided down the middle, yeah. A little divide. I'm fine with that. Fine with that. It makes things
Keeps it
interesting.
interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, especially because you'll be back next week, so we
Exactly, yeah.
can review.
We can have the right side of the room and the wrong side of the room.
Some people.
Boom.
Awesome.
You can really go off some people, can't you?
Is that the fantasy element of the week's podcast done?
Fantasy done.
Isn't it? Indeed.
And that takes us over to the stats.
Stats.
See, that's the point theme music should kick in.
Stats time!
There's been a lot of talk about all sorts of things. Stay tuned for new segments and new things that are coming in not just in the NFL podcast, but in all podcasts.
In all forms of podcast broadcast.
We will take the rest of our podcasts to number one, like we are Yorkshire's number one NFL podcast.
Yorkshire's number one tech-based podcast.
Are you Yorkshire's number one zombie cast?
Probably not.
No, because there are about 8 billion zombie podcasts.
Just in Yorkshire alone.
There are loads of zombie podcasts. A lot of them are scripted though. Ours isn't overly scripted.
It is
Other than what's
not.
in my head.
Well, it's
Really?
Queensland in Leeds, yeah.
Although the next bit is going to be scripted.
Yeah.
So,
So, stats.
hit us with a stat.
Numero uno. The Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions defences are currently tied with 24 sacks apiece, the 7th most in the league. Stafford was sacked 10 times last week at Minnesota, yet is one of only 2 quarterbacks yet to throw an interception whilst on the road this season, the other being Aaron Rodgers. Stafford, however, has 6 interceptions at home. Not looking good. Numero 2. From weeks 4 through 8, Andrew Luck threw a league-high 18 touchdowns. This week could be his 6th game in a row with at least 3 touchdowns. I'm not sure why. Who are they playing? Who are the Colts playing? Why is that relevant?
Is it just the fact that he could be his 6th week in a row that he's thrown for over 300 yards?
Yeah, could be.
I think that's the point. Yeah.
Okay. Going into week 10, Jared Goff had the second most passing yards in the league, 2,816, only behind Patrick Mahomes. Goff's 20 touchdowns are third behind Mahomes and Andrew Luck. His 6 interceptions are the fewest of those 3 players there.
I mean, he is legit, that boy. He is proper legit.
As a quarterback. Moving on. So, at the end, I will credit the individuals to where I took this information from. I have changed wording, but the question on everyone's lips this week is, how do you give up 41 points to the Bills? The guy that wrote this was like, no, really, how?
I saw through watching Red Zone, I saw that game, and it was like the Bills.
Like, what is happening?
It was just horrendous. It was quite funny as well because I believe I tried to scramble to get the Jets defence in both leagues and was unsuccessful.
I actually got them in my other league. Didn't set a line up in that league as well.
There is one man that loves setting a lineup. Week in, week out.
There he is.
But at least I wasn't playing someone in the room.
Oh no!
And beat that someone in the room.
Andrew.
Wow. It's like that, is it?
So apparently you've just been slammed.
Yeah.
So after an encouraging start to the season, the Jets quickly nosedived into being utterly dire. The presence of Josh McCown in place of the injured Sam Darnold did nothing to assist the team, and he completed just 50% of his passes and threw 2 picks. Matt Barkley, however, got the job done, completing 15 of his 25 passes for 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That was the first Bills game without a pick since week 3 against the Vikings. Barkley has not played in the NFL since replacing Brian Hoyer for the Bears in the second half of the 26th season. That's why I'd never heard of him before. Didn't know who he was. There you go. The Jags are 27th in the league. No. Let's skip that. It's a bit of an odd stat. Marcus Mariota has been the best version of himself these past 2 weeks, threading precise passes down the field and extending plays with his legs. His problem is that he's never been able to do it consistently for a full season. He was, however, successful in showing Tom Brady how to do his very own signature quarterback throwback pass without tripping over his own feet on the way.
So the commentators were like, "Oh yeah, because he doesn't often use his legs." It's like, how does he get around? How does he get on the field if he doesn't use his leg? But I mean, the problem you've got with Tom Brady at this stage is when he's throwing laser accurate passes, when he's winning Super Bowls, and when he's the GOAT, everybody's like, take a number, lining up to blow the guy. But the moment he misses a step, the moment he trips over his own feet, the moment he throws a pass that goes ever so slightly wrong, it's immediately, he's probably too old, isn't he? He's probably too old to play the game. He's probably should think about retirement. It's like, I suppose if you're at the top, the only way to go is down.
The headline I saw was, a 40-year-old should not run.
It was,
that's why I don't run.
It was...
It's a fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Falcons made a shock loss this week against the Browns. Falcons player Ito Smith has scored a rushing touchdown in 4 of his last 5 games. Of this year's rookie class, only Saquon Barkley has more rushing touchdowns than Smith. Rookie Calvin Ridley leads the receiving rookie class with 7 receiving touchdowns. The next most only has 3 scores. Smith and Ridley account for almost 41% of the Falcon touchdowns.
Wow.
Falcons and Seahawks share a 4-5 record, but there's something more compelling about where the Seahawks are heading, and they're averaging more rushing yards per game than anyone.
Seahawks had a monster game this week. They didn't win.
All the rushers are back this week as well.
But they had a monster game this week.
That was without Carson, wasn't it?
Baker Mayfield has had the best game of his career on Sunday, completing 17 of his 20 passes for 216 yards and 3 scores. Nick Chubb also went off, battering Atlanta with 176 yards on the ground, including a 92-yard scoring run.
Oh, the name Chubb.
The Browns.
It'll never not be funny.
The Browns don't win in overtime as well.
I know, incredible.
Yeah, managed to get it done in regular time.
In regulation.
Green Bay defence came out to play this week, sacking Brock Osweiler 8 times and picked him off once. A gift for Bashard Breeland, which he took right back into the red zone. Never heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, must be. Defence, obviously. The Bucs managed more than 500 yards of offense against the Redskins and yet finished with just 3 points. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw for 406 yards, but also had 2 very costly un-Fitzmagic interceptions.
I was proper spit. Like,
that is insane.
So I had him in as quarterback, and his points literally just yo-yoed up and down. One point he had like 2 points. I was like, oh, next minute he was down to 0. I think he hit a -1. Next thing it was up to 3. Next thing it was 8. Then it had gone back. I'm like, you're fucking killing me. It was.
That's
painful.
why your prediction, like of winning,
Yeah,
was yo-yo.
Your projection have been all over the place because
It was
because of
up
his
and
form.
down and up and down.
Thursday night's game could not have gone much worse for the Panthers. The Steelers had only had the ball for 13 seconds when they scored their second touchdown against Carolina. Christian McCaffrey was the only source of light. He had 138 yards from scrimmage and a hat-trick of touchdowns, essentially accounting for the entire Carolina offense. Pittsburgh tied its highest point total in a game at Heinz Field. The last time Pittsburgh scored 52 points at home, it was November the 25th, 1984, when they beat the Chargers.
I wasn't even born.
I was saying a 52-point game. That's got to be up there in some of the highest scoring games. But then...
New Orleans put 51 points.
Yeah.
Bengals this weekend.
I was saying to you when we were watching, I was like, so the Saints were like,
They were on the road.
what did Steelers get this week, sorry? As they were kept going back out on the field, it was like, oh yeah.
Didn't quite make it though. Roethlisberger is now only the second player in NFL history to have at least 300 passing yards, 5 touchdowns with 3 or fewer incompletions in one game. Kurt Warner also hit that mark in '99. Roethlisberger finished the game with 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers and a perfect passer rating. Outrageous.
Perfect passer.
Bears' offense is starting to get hot just at the right time. Mitchell Trubisky was near perfect against the Lions, completing 23 of his 30 passes for 355 yards and 3 scores. He also continued to make a claim for being the best rushing quarterback in the league outside of Cam Newton with yet another designed touchdown run. Rookie linebacker Roquan Smith had a big game, finishing with 10 tackles and a sack, and Khalil Mack also put Matthew Stafford on the ground twice on his return from injury.
Again, Mitchell Trubisky, legit.
There's something to be said for guys that are like, in their second year in the league. Him, Mahomes, Kareem Hunt, they're all looking much better.
Yeah.
I mean, Kareem Hunt looked pretty good last season, but they've all just got more runs and they've all had more reps.
And talking about players like Brady, like Rodgers, that players that are going to be going out of the game in the next X number of years, these are the names that are going to be replacing them. These are the names that are going to be there week in, week out. And like you say, they progress, they get better, with each season, with each game, with each play. They get better, they get more comfortable, and those are the names that we're going to be seeing.
Yes.
Like McCaffrey.
Oh, McCaffrey.
Had a poor season last year, but this
I
year
completely
now...
forgot about him. He looks absolutely awesome.
Watch this space.
Definitely.
No one is moving the ball better than the LA Rams this season. Their 4,480 total yards is over 200 more than their nearest rival. Todd Gurley, Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods all had 100-yard games on Sunday night, and Jared Goff's 318-yard, 2-touchdown performance was the 6th time in 10 games he's passed the 300-yard milestone this season. And the final one, Breeze was faultless again this week for the Saints, completing 22 of his 25 passes for 265 yards and 3 scores, before making way for Teddy Bridgewater and Sean Payton. And they continued to make ingenious use of Taysom Hill. These are a lot of names that I don't know.
Sean Payton's the head coach. Teddy Bridgewater's the backup quarterback. Oh, he's the third string quarterback. Taysom Hill's the backup, but they use him as a bit of a utility player. Because they use him as a running back. They split him out as a wide receiver. He just looks the absolute bomb.
He can run and catch.
He looks. He's a quarterback, but he's built like an absolute shed.
Wow,
it's ridiculous.
Who were we commenting on that was big as a quarterback? Or I commented on. So
Andrew Luck at the start of the season looked absolutely hench.
He was jacked. Andrew Luck was. I think you sent a picture of what he looked like before, and then what he looked like going into the season, and he just like loads of muscle. Well, obviously we always talk about Big Ben because he's Big Ben, but yeah,
there was somebody, but they were running and were saying like they were big build for a quarterback. I can't remember. Anyway, Breeze passes Brett Favre in touchdown passes to take second place in NFL history with 509. There's just a couple of other short stats. Julio became the fastest player in NFL history to reach 10,000 yards over 104 games.
Did he do it like 10 games faster than Megatron? Cole, shout out to Cole. He is still available in the league if you're looking for him.
I didn't capture what he's beaten.
I think the guy he beat was Calvin Johnson, and I think he was like 116 games or something like that.
Wow. And Larry Fitzgerald became number 2 in receiving yards, reaching 15,000.
Love me some Fitz. What a guy.
Yeah, but like we were talking about last week, as far as fantasy goes, as far as like a football, because he's so good, he just gets shut out all the time. They just put 2 players on him and go, right, oh, that's who you dealt with. And it's like, yeah, but I've got him in my lineup.
That's all from me. I felt
excellent stats once again.
Oh wait, hold on, hold your horses.
I'd just like to thank.
I will mention that these stats were partly stolen. I removed a lot of the personal wording this week and just took the actual stats. But thanks to NFL's Brandon Lee and Telegraph's Alex Finnith. Thank you.
Personally, I didn't like the fact that we'd removed any ripping of Paul. So
I didn't. Yeah, I struggled to find anything.
Come up with one this week.
Yeah.
Just call me a dick. It's probably what the public want to hear at this point.
At this point.
Oh, I don't know.
Right, moving into week 11, dare I say. Week 11. For Rob, who doesn't know, we have to tell Paul what time the game is, because apparently that makes it.
There it is!
See?
There's the ripping it.
I like to
I
double back and brought it from the side. Starting the week with a
big game.
Monster game.
Big game.
Friday, Paul, 1:20.
Shut
up. You need to know.
Shut up.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle
versus the Green Bay Packers. Let's get some picks. It's a tough one for me, this, if I'm honest. It's a tough one.
Well, as I started with last week, I will provide the stat that is based on the NFL Mobile about each game.
Go.
Packers have not won in Seattle since week 6, 2008.
10 years.
It's not in Green Bay. It's in Seattle.
That
makes a massive difference.
That could sway things. I was going to go Packers, but pop me down for the Seahawks.
Popped you down.
I'm going to go for the Packers, just because didn't you say that Aaron Rodgers hasn't thrown a pick on the road this season?
Yeah.
I reckon he's going to keep that up. I reckon he's going to have another faultless game, and we're going to see a go pack go.
Doesn't mean they're going to win just because he doesn't throw a pick.
Well, it does in my book.
Okay.
Obviously.
Well, it seems as Paul said the Packers, I'm going to copy because Paul tends to win.
Yeah!
Not really. I'm going Seahawks.
Oh, okay.
Rob, Seahawks at home.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're all going to have so much egg on your faces.
They're going to run touchdowns in.
Would that egg be
flammable?
flame retardant?
Whoa! I've just realised we didn't recap on weekends.
Last week's games.
Yeah.
Hold those predictions for next week.
And you haven't done the buys for this week.
I've got those written at the top of this page.
Do you want to go back and do last week's games?
Very quickly.
Absolutely.
God damn it.
Absolutely, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I'll just call out some specifics. The Bills-Jets games. None of us predicted that, right?
I don't think anyone was predicting that.
I'm pretty sure I must.
No.
Similarly to Cowboys-Eagles, we all went with the Eagles.
Oh dear.
And
Stevie's so disappointed in me right now.
Giants-49ers, we all went with the 49ers. So we were all wrong.
Oh God.
You weren't very good with your scoring proximity predictions this week. But
let's just ignore that. Let's just get to the main.
You do get credit though for being the only person in the room to go with some crazy predictions, like the Titans beating the Patriots.
Come on! That's right, baby.
Who saw that one coming? Well,
this guy.
That guy.
Yes.
Obviously.
He did.
This guy.
Were there any other standouts? You went with the Browns over the Falcons as well.
Yeah, boy!
And the Steelers over the Panthers.
Yeah, boy!
Which resulted in 7 points for myself and Cookie. And 10 points to you.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Swish!
Back in the net.
If only you could do...
How many games was there?
1, 2, 3, 4,
12,
5, 6,
13,
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
14.
13.
Oh, right. Fair enough.
That doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Has everybody picked in the Seahawks Packers?
Yes.
Oh, indeed.
Okay, week 2. Week 2? Jesus fucking hell.
2.
Let's go back to week
2?
Game 2.
14
is
games.
Colts Titans.
Colts Titans. Yours is in a different order to mine.
Now that is a good start.
Sunday at 6. Just
Because of that rudeness, Andrew, I'm not going to tell you the start. Now, I'd never do that to you. So apparently,
Joker.
Andrew Luck, in his career against the Titans,
defeated.
Defeated.
Wow.
9-0.
Undefeated loser or winner?
It's not me.
First runner.
Reverse Undertaker.
First runner.
Reverse Undertaker.
Reverse
here.
Undertaker. I can't believe we're still trying to get that out into the world.
Hashtag Reverse Undertaker.
Hashtag reverse.
Shout out to Stuart Woodmansey. Hashtag Reverse Undertaker. What an absolute legend.
He got a shout. He got a shout out.
He got a reply.
He got a reply to his tweet. He got a shout out. These are the things that I
It
like.
was just amazing. The fact, was it last week when I told you, you were like,
Yeah.
what?
Twitter, what's that
Twitter?
again? Went on to Twitter and was like, oh shit, there's page after page after page
There's
after page after page
There's a lot of
tweets.
comments from people.
I was like, and yeah, there was pictures and all sorts. I did.
Was it just pictures of people going, well, fuck you, bitch!
Fuck you! I did hold true to my word. I went and addressed all of them. Replied.
He
to
replied to all
everybody,
tweets.
and gave Stu a shout out, a special shout out for instigating the Twitter cleanup.
Did I also mention that he is getting into the NFL by listening to our podcast
As he
and by
should.
watching on a Sunday?
There we go.
So if we need an extra person in the league next
Jesus,
season,
no.
How many
God.
teams can you run in parallel?
Oh God.
5?
85, something like that.
12? 11?
I could fill the
We're
entire
a
league.
90-team league. Everybody gets one player.
Yeah.
Some of them don't play.
Can you imagine? If we had like a 16-team league or an 18-team league, and I still kept the draft time at 2 minutes, Toots would kill
God.
people.
No, people
would
kill.
As in, he would drive people.
Or
to
people would
suicide.
die whilst waiting for him to
Yes.
pick.
We should just tell him
I'm
it's
sure
the week
people
after.
do already.
Yeah, he'll still win.
Or then emergency bring it forward a week.
No, because then
Well,
we'd
we
have to
drafted
sit and
without
wait
Toots,
for
and
his
he's
time
still
just to
got
run out.
an absolutely.
That'll be the same time anyway.
team.
Well,
Come on,
So, yeah.
Colts.
So, Colts at home. Andrew Luck undefeated against the Titans.
Right. Well, then in that case, I'm going Colts.
I would, yeah. I'm going Colts. I think the Titans had a bit of a one-off.
I don't think you can.
I'm going Titans.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think you can't go from beating the Patriots one week, then roll into Indianapolis and get absolutely smoked by these bunch of jokers.
I think it will be close. We've got 3 points in it, but I think.
Oh, put that down. Rob Rafton, 3 points in it.
Oh, you've taken Paul's.
Taking Paul's seat.
What a man!
Paul used to have his own.
His own segment.
His own signature.
Paul has his own segment.
I'll still give you one game, and I'll give you an exact score.
Over under.
And it will be wrong.
And it will be absolute.
The next game of week 11 is the Giants versus the Buccaneers. For all you Pauls in the room, that's still Sunday.
So the stat on this one, I swear to God, when sometimes they'll have really good stats, like Andrew Luck never lost against the Titans. And then
the NFL mobile app's a little bit hit and miss.
This week the Giants are playing.
And then
Tom Brady is an American football player.
Something like that.
Giants playing in blue.
Yeah, exactly. This one has somewhat of a stat in it. It's Barkley and Beckham versus Bucks' last ranked scoring defense.
Jeez.
That's not a stat.
It's not a stat.
That is
an observation.
Yeah.
Did everybody pick on that one? Sorry.
No one's picked.
Nobody's picked.
That's tricky.
Giants win. Put it all there.
No, it's Buccaneers for me.
Did this last
I got about Fitz magic, even though I'm probably not going to play it.
This is the very epitome of one of those games where you just think, can both teams lose? I mean, they're both shit.
Is a draw still a loss?
They're both terrible.
Yeah.
It's Giants for me.
I honestly don't know which way to pick.
You can say a draw if you want, yeah.
Tie, no.
Odell seemed to come back
it's
to
been
life.
tied.
Yeah, that's the point.
Cut off Barkley.
Beckham's somewhat, finding his feet again. Yeah, go on, we'll go for the Giants. They've got home field advantage.
I can't honestly say I don't think I ever thought I'd hear you pick the Giants in a game.
Did you choose?
Yeah, Giants.
Next game is the Jaguars versus the Steelers.
Yeah.
That one, Paul. That's Sunday at 6.
Excellent. So Jags at home to the Steelers. The stat. One of two winless teams in the NFL since week 5. I think.
What, the Jaguars?
Who the other one is?
Jaguars, they're definitely correct. No question from me. It's a Steelers victory. So funny. Who are you picking? With your big Ben?
No question. Well, sat
Jags,
on
obviously.
my Steelers throne.
Jags win, obviously.
Steelers throne. That's right, we have a Steelers toilet in our house.
Steelers.
That Paul breaks every week.
I mean, that makes it sound a little bit weird.
You broke it again.
That makes it sound like I'm doing monster turds.
The toilet doesn't work after you use it. Let's leave it there.
That's red, ladies.
The boiler's pipeline. Yeah.
Rob Rafton, Jaguars Steelers.
Steelers.
Paul Williams.
Clean sweep.
Steelers.
Sadly, I keep saying I keep saying every week the Jags can't afford to lose this one, and they keep losing. So
they like to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Now then, let's talk interesting games. Lions, Panthers. We'll just put those
that's
two.
an interesting
I
game.
don't think that's very interesting.
It's interesting.
I think it's a Panthers win by several points.
Put that down. Several points.
Several point win.
I'll go Panthers 31, Lions 17.
It's a Panthers victory for me.
Their stat is that Cam Newton has had 100 plus passer rating in 4 straight games.
Cool.
Which is impressive when you consider they got absolutely bitch.
He didn't have the ball.
To Steelers this week.
Hardly though.
Good point. Didn't see a lot of the ball last week, did he? Rob Rafton?
Panthers.
Clean
Probably
sweep.
because I'm
Panthers?
thinking-
Wearing the shirt
Yeah.
has to go with them.
I'm thinking about putting Drew Brees in, so Cam Newton will have.
That's a 50-point game there. Falcons, Cowboys.
Stat. Cowboys have not beaten the Falcons in Atlanta since 2006. Rules. Records are there to be broken. Cowboys victory in the books. Did back them last week and it came back to back.
Yeah. I'm going Cowboys.
Well, fuck you guys, I'm going Falcons.
They might
I'll
come
go
off the back
Falcons.
of last week and think.
There you go, a 50-50 split. The room is divided.
So the Falcons are at home.
They're at home indeed.
And it's a 6 o'clock game.
Oh, change everything.
Just
I might go Falcons, actually.
Change-
If it's
actually,
6 o'clock.
if it's 6 p.m,
It's Sunday at 6. It is 6.
change everything. Change everything you thought you knew.
The Ravens versus the Bengals.
The Cincinnati Bengals.
The Bengals.
Bengals.
The Bengalis.
Ravens. First 3+ game losing streak since the 2016 season. Maybe it's because they've got a terrible quarterback.
Your favourite quarterback ever?
He can
play
suck
the
my
game?
dick. John Flacco can fuck
I'll
off.
go.
You love Flacco. You wear his
Fuck
jersey
off.
all the time.
Terrible. So overpaid.
Ravens win.
Yeah.
It's a Raven.
Unfortunately.
I don't like him, but Ravens.
Yeah, it's a Ravens victory.
You'd fancy him to kick out
Oh,
No.
1,
head shaking.
2, kick out in this
Head
game.
shaking.
I'm going with the Bengals.
Oh, God.
The Ravens haven't got it in them to win anything.
Oh, this girl. What is she doing?
She hates Joe Flacco as well. And
What,
Freedom.
what cracks has she been smoking?
The big ones.
The sizable one.
The Washington Redskins versus the Texans. Just so you're aware, this is the last
Of the 6 o'clock
of
game.
the 6 o'clock games.
Well, the stat based on this
On a
game
Sunday.
is the Texans are in a 6-game winning streak, which is tied for the second longest in team history. Which, when you think about it, is not actually that impressive because they've only been a team for 16 years. So,
Winning's a habit. That's why I'm going with the Redskins.
Redskins are at home. I do like the Texans though, and they've got DeAndre Hopkins, pretty good. I'll go for the Texans.
I'm also going Texans.
See, I was, but I still am.
I was, and
And
I
I
will.
also still do. Right, let's move over to 2 9:05 games.
Oh, dear.
Paul Williams. Get your pillows ready, boys. It's the Cardinals
Didn't know where he was going with that one.
versus
Put
the
it over your face.
Raiders.
Two absolute snooze fests this week. Giants, Bucks, and that bag of fucking rocks.
There's a
Jesus.
better college football on Saturday.
Yeah, big time. Jesus Christ, Cardinals.
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 Raiders 1-8, third worst start in team history.
Third worst.
I imagine they've gone 0-9 or something like that before.
I guess so. Yeah.
It's okay, they've only got their coach for another 9 seasons after this one.
Yeah, but have you seen that they've got 3 first-round picks in next year's draft?
Yeah.
They've got their
Need
own.
'em.
They've got the one they acquired off the Cowboys for Amari Cooper, and they've got the one that they acquired off the Bears when they sent them Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
So if there's good players to be taken, they're gonna they're gonna be good in the next couple of seasons. Fair enough, they're absolute dross now, but they're gonna get good.
Dross.
Did we get an answer from Mr. Rafton?
I think it was Cardinals across the board.
Cardinals. Across the
Cardinals
board,
across
thank
the board. Our second 9:05 game, Chargers Broncos.
LA Chargers lost 11 of the last 14 games versus Denver, including the playoffs.
Where
I think
is
Denver's
this
the team
being
they were then.
played?
It's in LA.
LA.
And the Broncos are fucking awful.
It goes
I mean,
against my good
Back off a
nature,
bar.
but I'm going to have to go against the Broncos and pick the Chargers for this one.
I don't see how anyone could pick anything other than the Chargers winning this. The Broncos are terrible. Terrible.
In that case, I'm going to choose Broncos.
Terrible.
Just because one of the best
Terrible.
mates, big Broncos fan. So,
God. Awful.
the boy Jackson loves the
God.
Broncos. There's only ever been to Mile High when they're not playing that, bless him.
Oh, man.
He has such a horrible job. There you go.
Has everybody had a pick?
Cambridge and Denver all the time.
Yes.
Now let's talk the three last games of the week. I am loving these 3 games.
Pretty good.
Oh, I'm going to miss all these ones.
Loving.
I know, it's annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's on Monday?
No, Eagles Saints you'll be able to watch. That's 9:25.
Yeah.
9:25 on Sunday. The Saints versus the Eagles.
It wouldn't be a podcast without some random animal noises.
Show us your helmet.
New.
Get the shine on that bad boy.
New helmet.
New chrome.
I don't think it'll fit.
Might film on the
Definitely didn't address the new podcast in space at the beginning.
We definitely didn't. The eagle-eyed
and then Lianne went, "Oh, I spent ages sorting out your NFL corner, and definitely not on any of the cameras." So,
And Rob, you won't have seen our last.
this is what you're
last
playing
place.
for. The last place
car
trophy.
coasters.
All right.
Sadly, I may have taken myself out of contention for those.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Saints
You just
Eagles.
post them to Benji now.
Woo! Fight talk, Ben. Let's see what you got, bitch.
Sorry.
Saints Eagles.
Yeah, Saints.
Saints at home? You having a fucking laugh? Saints by 21.
Wow.
Eagles 7.
Wow.
Saints 28.
What? You said 21?
By
Oh, by
21
21.
points. You do the math.
Yeah, I can't do math.
Rob Rafton.
Eagles.
No.
This guy is an absolute joker.
He's just like, what's
You're
wrong?
just
thing
going
is,
with the opposite.
He's having a laugh.
Taking?
I'm dropping Cam and putting Reese into my team.
Yeah, here we go. This guy.
I'm
So-
potentially going to play Wentz this week, so, you know. be careful.
Yeah.
Are you Saints?
Although I've got Jeffries in my team. One of them, so yeah.
Oh, sorry. The start of that game was the
It didn't matter.
8-game winning streak by the Saints is the longest active streak in the NFL. But I think anyone could tell.
Is the longest what?
Current active winning streak
streak.
in the NFL.
Second to last game, Monday, 1:20, Paul. The Bears versus the Minnesota Vikings.
The Bears.
Another good game in my book.
Again, not a stat. Battle for first place in NFC North. Well, fucking no shit.
There you go. Where is that being played?
He's been playing in
Chicago.
Chicago.
Soldier Fields.
It's a Bears victory for this guy.
Yeah. Bears. Close though.
Hairy Bears.
Vikings in overtime.
Ooh.
Throwing out stats like that. Predictions.
This is why we're bringing outside consultants.
This is what
New
we
blood.
like.
This is why we're bringing outside consultants. You know, like Tim Later.
Oh, Phil.
Cole.
No, Phil came.
Phil came, did he?
Phil came and then went, I don't want to do that. That's not the reason.
And Cole has made a facial appearance.
Facial.
Facial appearance.
I think
Yeah.
Phil.
Not in,
Cole have a lot
not
of
in
facials.
person.
Got to freeze that there.
He does have baby soft skin. Yeah. all the facials.
Comments.
Like and share. Tag. Last.
Hashtag facial
Whoa,
appearance.
Bears for me. Just
Yeah, I
Those
wonder
who cared.
if everybody had answered on that. The last game of the week, and what a raging hard on this game gives.
Potential
I'm
Super
scared.
Bowl.
Yeah.
Bear in mind.
This has got potential Super Bowl written all over it. I quiver
Saints.
as
Saints.
I quiver as I say.
Your lady pieces quiver.
I quiver when I say Tuesday 1:15. The LA Rams,
At
the
home.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Not playing in Mexico City.
They are not playing.
Not
Mexico City.
in Mexico.
Not in Mexico.
They can't drug around.
Why was that even a consideration.
So they play one in the same way they do
International
these
like they do the
London
Wembley
games.
ones.
They played a game in Mexico for the last 2 or 3 seasons. And I thought it was the Raiders, because I thought it had been the Raiders the last 2 seasons that had gone there and played. So I thought it was something tied in with them both.
Yeah.
I mean, this is just this is the game. This is the one.
This has got high scoring written all over.
Oh, this will be another one of those that at some point a commentator will say, if you've got a friend that's not into the NFL and you want to get them into the NFL, this is the game that they should watch.
It's such a shame. Like, obviously, in America, it's not a problem for them because it's prime time. The reason it's on Monday Night Football is because it's a game that everyone's going to want to watch. The problem is that obviously over here, it's on at a time that pretty much like hardly anyone's going to see them because they're off work on the Tuesday.
When you then start looking at it, you go, all right, so how can I? How can I?
But the best thing about that is the fact that it's running into Thanksgiving week. So that's going to be a hell of a week for football. I'd be so tempted to try and take that Tuesday off, so I could stay up and watch it. But then it'd be something like that. I'll try and stay up and watch it and fall asleep.
Actually, yeah, I could do with Tuesday, in a sense. I could certainly do with Tuesday afternoon off.
Record the game. Watch it at breakfast.
I know, but I won't be able to avoid, and some of my mates will ruin the score for me. So
I'm going Rams. It's a Rams, but it's going to be close. That's going to be one end of the field to the other.
It's a sort of thing where
I was going to say everyone points
33-31.
High scoring, but the Rams have got the edge because they've got an actual defense that can stand up and stop stuff, whereas the Chiefs' defense is suspect. So I don't think it'll necessarily be close. I reckon the Rams could win it by 14 or so.
A country mile.
14.
It's just the fact that the Rams will be able to stop the Chiefs at times, whereas I don't think the same will be said for the Chiefs stopping the Rams.
Okay.
So I'll go 45.
31.
No, I'm going to go 45-38.
So 7, not 14.
Is that even a score that can be possible?
All scores are possible.
38.
And all scoring plays are reviewed.
Yeah, 45. Yeah, you can score a touchdown on the field goal.
We're going to go to New York to find out.
Today,
Rob?
big week for Kareem Hunt. Kansas win.
Kansas win.
Yep. On the road.
You're prepared to say by how many you think they'll win?
7.
7!
I'm going
Well,
with
7.
the Rams. Because I would like
You and
to
four of those
win.
prostitutes, get out of here.
I reckon it's going to be a lower scoring game.
As you guys
3-3?
said. It could be the
Not
Super Bowl
bad.
final.
I mean,
The rehearsal.
That's Super Bowl written on.
I mean, let's put it this way. If that's the Super Bowl, it's a treat for everybody.
Yeah. There's no...
It's just a shame the Super Bowl can't ever be the Saints versus the Rams.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone would watch that and
okay.
absolutely love it. So
It's got street party, that, hasn't it? Is that everybody's pick?
Yeah.
So that brings us to the end of Week 11's games.
excuse me.
And ultimately brings us to the end of the podcast.
Always a sad time.
It is a sad time.
Until next week, where we get to do it
All
over again.
With all the same people.
Yeah.
Who are you
I
playing?
would just finalise
Tim Lacey.
So it'll just be us then.
the bye week.
Give us the
So that
buys.
just the teams that are missing from this week's games
I was
are the
gonna
Bills, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Jets, and the 49ers.
Patriots not playing this week.
No.
These guys, which I think leaves just the Chiefs and the Rams to be on bye next week.
They'll need it, I imagine, after that.
And then we're into the home stretch. 5 weeks left of nothing but all teams playing football.
What will I talk about with you people?
Probably nothing. We'll just have to
Nothing.
go.
Avoid
But
it.
we'll put our friendship in hibernation for about 9 months.
You might get a... They'll walk past you, don't
You'll probably sort of like panic one day and just go, I saw the Middlesbrough game the other day. Why did you watch that?
Yeah.
I needed something.
Yeah.
I needed a reason to talk to
I
you.
don't even want to watch it sometimes.
It was
No.
in Curry's window. I was just
I just want to have some form of rules.
It was like
Every
40 tellies.
single year, I do this. Paul, what are your thoughts are on getting a fantasy basketball league going?
Maybe this
You're
is
like-
the year.
No. So,
I don't watch it enough.
Talking of American sports, though, is the baseball coming over still? Oh no.
Should be. I think,
Yeah.
what was it? Red Sox, Yankees?
Yeah.
Wembley?
I was talking about it.
Because that season's just finished.
yeah. Bill Burr's on.
So it won't start again until
But they play like.
February.
So Bill Burr was talking about the number of games that have been played in this series.
Stupid games.
Hundreds of games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they play like 160 games a season.
Yeah.
But sometimes they play 2 games on the same day.
Who needs
2 or 3
that
games.
many
This
games
is
to
tough.
decide?
Yeah,
something?
they play back-to-back games on
Back-to-back.
back-to-back days. It's fucking bullshit.
It
It's
is
all
bullshit.
It's all nonsense. Which is why like you wonder why the pitchers end up with like they can't move their arm because their elbow just isn't sort of designed to do that.
Was it
action
Jimmy
over and 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 over again.
That did the joke, the World Series.
But won by America.
America won that one again. Then.
It was the same as they class the American football winners as world champions.
Yeah. It's like the boat race. Those 2 fucking universities get to the final every year.
Yeah.
Yorkshire get that
Straight
one
through.
year, sure.
Straight through. Unbelievable.
Something else that came up this week, I believe, just NFL finishing up stuff. I believe they've announced 4 games in
Next
England
year.
next year.
Correct. It'd be
I-
nice if they could arrange to get Old Trafford for once. Take some of the games away from London, get one in the north. It's a big enough stadium where they could get enough people.
a big enough stadium, but the seats are
no
horrible.
issues or arguments there.
Yeah.
They are so tiny. We went to the Rugby World Cup and it was like that.
Couldn't they just play at the new stadium? That'll be built by next year, won't it?
York.
Yeah. And then we
Yeah.
won't have to travel anywhere.
All 7,000 people.
8,000.
8,000, right.
Sorry!
8,000.
Tickets
Gone are the
might
nights,
be
thank
slightly
you.
higher in price.
Get people just standing on the top of the cinema, looking down.
Yeah.
Never know.
Well, I think we safely can say that we know that's not going to happen.
Yeah, we know that's not. I'll finish up by for all you YouTube watchers. You may have noticed that when we said that we were going to a new space, we weren't lying about it. This is the new podcasting space, podcast studio. Some might say. I don't want to put words in people's mouths.
Do you want me to save you loads of egg boxes? So you can pad the walls out and make it soundproof.
Maybe. That's a conversation that we had about soundproofing stuff.
We've got the ceiling done already.
Yeah, seriously.
The ceiling was
When Lord Dench came to do the moving on Sunday, I was like, "Oh, you've already got soundproofing for the ceiling." We were like,
Yeah, that's
"No,
what
that's
we
got
were
a fire risk."
Yeah.
So
So melt and drip nicely.
for all of you
Right, can it?
YouTube watchers, and for people who are listening, you can listen to this conversation.
And you not hear how much more crisp it sounds.
For you YouTube watchers mainly, I will try and get it so that Lianne's hard work sorting the NFL corner doesn't go to waste. And watch this space, which works really well because we're going to be watching this space. But yeah, there's going to be a table. There's going to be all sorts of stuff going on. Flag's going to go up.
Posters.
There's a bag of posters there that are going up. One of them's getting framed. There was talk. Mr. Sam Muscroft, Muff Chops himself, spoke up a banner
A banner.
for that one.
Cookie cast.
Yeah, Cookiecast banner. So
No, not cookie cast, cookie cast.
cast. This picture's left to go up, but that picture's already up. You know, there's all sorts going on. So stay tuned, podcasties. But yeah, for week 10 review, week 11 review, I'll say thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to you, Mr. Rob Rafton. Thanks for making the time. Thanks to you, co-host Mr. Williams. Thanks to you, Stats Mistress, for the stats.
Thank you.
And we'll call the ball.
Call the ball.
Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.
Goodbye. Jobs are gone.
So there you go then. What did you think to that? Week 10 in the bag, going into week 11. How are you doing in your fantasy league? Winning? Mr. Williams getting another W. So if you're not winning at the moment, just think it's not impossible to get those W's in. For all of you podcast listeners, for you podcast YouTube watchers, give us a like and a share and a comment and click the bell and things like that. Everybody should jump over to the cookiecast.com. Hit us up on social media, send us an email, let us know how you're getting on. Are you winning in your fantasy league? So yeah, join us next week, week 11. Mr. Rafton should hopefully be returning, as will my glamorous co-host Mr. Williams, and hopefully the stats mistress will be with us too. So join us then. But until then, I'll say bye-bye.